What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, it's freezing in here, radiator's on, it's not doing any good. I'm still waiting on the last scale for the DRO for the mill, but it's just boxes everywhere and I need to have a bit of a tidy up and clear stuff away. So I'm gonna just install what I've got. I'm hoping the other scale is gonna get here either today or tomorrow. And then I can get it finished up and we can start doing things a little bit more accurately on the crappy mill. This is the instruction book for it and it tells you what button to push to do everything and blah, 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 blah. No installation instructions at all. So, you know, we're just gonna have to wing it. I mean, it's not that hard by the looks of it. However, I think the hardest bit is gonna be actually fitting it in, because there is bugger all real estate on a tiny little mill like that. That's a Draper 34023. The DRO is going to be bigger than the mill by the time I'm done. Anyway, it does look reasonably straightforward from what I can see. So I guess the first thing is just we'll shove the panel up, get that out of the way, and then I can just worry about the scales. So that's the plan. Right, at least the display works. That's the starter for 10. Really annoying. They just send random stuff in the packet. I mean, cable ties are always handy, but it's just random crap. It's not even the fixings that you want to put the bloody thing on. There's an earth strap there. Apparently you need to earth that. Why can't it do it through the plug? And it's got these stupid Japanese plugs with one of these poxy little adapter jobbies. Where is it? These things. And I mean, they've sent me 3 of them. Well, I only need one. And I'm chopping that off and chucking it in the bin and putting a proper plug on it anyway, so. Right. Spare screws. I'll leave the washers out, we'll need them. Right, let's get some stuff cleared up. Right, and this is where the problem starts. If you look at the front, we've obviously got the gibs here. We've got a scale across here with a pointy jobby. That is basically negated by using a DRO anyway, so I'm not too fussed about that. However, gibs is important, as is the locking screw. And the trouble is, this is in the way. If I wanted to mount the scale on the front, I'd have to stand it off, which is an issue. I can't go underneath it because the locking screw is in the way. Sorry, I'm pointing with the camera. This locking screw is in the way. It touches on the top of the scale. So I can't really stick it on the front. If you go around the back and have a look, real estate is really at a premium. If I was to get that basically level, it kind of starts bottoming out about there and I'm losing about 10 mil of travel down the bottom here. Now this thing doesn't actually move forwards and backwards very far at all, so I'm really keen to keep the real estate. I need that really to keep going all the way back until it bottoms out on this casting. So I've got some issues with how I'm going to mount this. How am I going to do that then? I don't want it to go that way because I don't want stuff falling in here. There is a stupid cover. Yeah, that ain't going to work. So it really needs to go this way up. Needs to be flush with the top. I can't stick it behind. I can't really stick it out the front, not without spacing it out stupid amounts. And then I still wouldn't be able to lock the table. What is the back like actually? See, the back's all dead nice and flat. There's nothing there at all. I wonder if I could spin it round. Could I do that? Could I do that? Right then, so all I've done is swing the bed around the other way. It works. Snugged all the gibs up. It is quite tight, but if I don't snug them down, because this is just a cheap machine, you do get play in it, so. But that all works, and it means I get a nice flat face on here, where I can mount the scale and the pickup for it as well. So I'm gonna have to make another little thumb screw for the back just so I can lock the carriage, because I don't like the idea that this is going to go in the back, and then you've got the handle, so when I put a skirt in there it's just going to be awkward. Well, it's going to be awkward anyway, you're going to have to sort of go in underneath it, but if I want a DRO, that's what I've got to do. Right, let's give it a little bit of a clean. It's all been doused in oil, just because you're in there, so it's all had a good clean up and, you know, a bit of lubrication. There's always time for lubrication. Right. So now we can have a go at getting that scale back on. So he can now fit something like that, which will be fine. And the pickup can ride on here. So I just have to drill these out, tap them, get it mounted. And I think we are in. That should do it. it's showing something. And it's working. Awesome. I'm going to need to snug down my gibs because there's play in this, but it's working. So if we was to zero that. Ooh, look. Yes. Right, one down, 2 to go. And one of them still hasn't turned up. Right, for the Z-axis, I really should have got a shorter scale. I should have thought this through a little bit more. It can only go on this side. However, I didn't account for this pin. It goes all the way through from the other side. There's like a tension arm for when you're winding it up and down just to limit it. And that is right in the way. So we're gonna have to come in front of it. And ideally, if I had a shorter one, by about 100 mil, it would have fitted a lot nicer. But you know, it is what it is. We just got to try and make it work. It's awkward as well because there isn't a great deal of casting here, and I've got this locking handle to lock the head in its position. So that is going to be running very, very close, as you can see. It will still work, but it is going to be close. So we want that to go about there. And somehow I've got to mount the sensor on here. So I've come up with this little bracket. It's nothing fancy looking, but that is basically going to fit on there. It will go around the gibs, so I can still get to my gibs. I can shove one bolt in there. I can shove another one sort of below it in line with the gibs. And then that sensor will basically tie onto this. It isn't the best, but it is gonna work. Yeah, that'll be all right. So, we need to start drilling holes in this bit next. All right, so he wants to go there. That'll do. Start off for 10. Right, believe in something and it will happen. This, I think, is going to be the final one. It's literally just turned up as I've finished installing that second scale. Please be, yes! Happy days. Right, hopefully this one is going to fit. I've had to MacGyver up a couple of brackets here. What's the best way of explaining it? The casting on the side is angled in. However, the face that I'm bolting the sensor onto is vertical. So in order to get everything to line up and keep the gaps as minimal as possible, I got these two bits of alley, which are basically machined off at one point. So they're pretty much flat. And then I've had to space this off. I've just got nuts and a couple of washers in there just to try and keep everything absolutely sort of level and equal. But that should do it, I think. There we go. He's moving. There, we'll be all right there. Right, okay. So that's all three on. The other thing I don't like about this is that the skirt, it's not gonna cover the opening. I can't use the cover because the way that this is all mounted, it just ain't happening. So what's gonna probably happen is I'll pop some different holes in it. I'm gonna offset the skirt so it overhangs the sensor. And we should be okay there. It just means that this piece here, the sort of as you go back, that front edge isn't really gonna be covered, which I'm not happy about, it has to be said. I might see if I can't extend this out. I don't know. I need to come up with something for that because I don't want chips and all sorts of other stuff going in there. Right, let's plug it all together and see if it works. Right, so E is Y. And this one is X. Right, moment of truth. I will button it all, I just want to see if it works. So far so good. Right, so Z. Right. There we go, and X. Awesome. I have snugged all my gibs up, so that's all good. Like you turn one and it's not, you know, affecting another one sort of thing. So I'm happy with that. It is quite firm, but it has to be on this little lathe. I don't like that at all. Basically the channel that the sensor runs in, I've had to mount it that way up. There is no other way of doing it. It's had to go that way up. And I can't use the little cover to cover it up because of the way it's all sort of put together. I might end up sort of adapting this, but then I'd end up with it, if I wind it all the way out, it's just gonna be sticking out. I ain't gonna like that. Right, I need to think about that one. I need to tidy all that lot up, and now I need to tidy all that lot up. Round there's not so bad, but all this lot is a complete tip. Oh, need to get the skirts on as well. Right, okay. Right, that's it, DRO done. That is quite the upgrade for this, it has to be said. Ultimately, I do want to get rid of the little mill and get a really big mill and stick it over there in the corner. So when I do, the DRO will just move over there and I'll get some different scales that are the appropriate length and we're in. But what it means now is that I can machine stuff down and get it absolutely on size rather than on size-ish, kind of. And there's quite a few bits and pieces I want to be making, not just for the bike. I've got some jigs and various other stuff that I want to get done. So that is going to come in well handy. Didn't cost a hell of a lot at all. I got it off Banggood, thanks to his lordship's recommendation. Thank you, fella. But yeah, he said, go on there and get some tooling and stuff, and I saw this on there. So that was, I think, 60 quid. And each of the scales was, so there's 3 of them, 25 quid. The resolution is down to, is it 2 micron? I doubt I'm going to get that close on this mill. But it does go down that close. It is really, really good. Really good. So I'm quite chuffed with that. Anyway, how long did it take to do? I suppose I started 10:30 this morning, something like that. It is now 5 o'clock. So it did take a while, but most of that was just figuring out how I'm going to get it done. Easy to install, my arse. They give you loads and loads and loads of bits and pieces, and all the bits that you wish you had, you ain't got. So you've got to make them. But anyway, it is what it is. That's where I'm leaving it today. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Do hope you're staying well and safe. Really do. It's all going mad. There's quite a few folks out our way that have come down with COVID. So, you know, you've got to do your best and look after yourselves, haven't you? But anyway, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Laters!